Hey guys, this video is about elitism in the Goth subculture and my opinion on it. A few things I'd like to say first. Please give me a chance to explain. I'm a very logical person, and I think that many of you are very, upset by things that you've experienced in the subculture and on the internet and in real life. And what I'm saying is never to belittle or trivialize the bad experiences that you've had. So with that being said, please hear me out. I have a good point to make. In my opinion, elitism, just elitism, not goth, not anything, elitism is not necessarily a bad thing. First, I want to start by defining elitism. I want to be clear about what it actually is and what the term you're using really means. Elitism is the advocacy or public support of an elite as a dominating element in a system or society. So following that, an elite is a group of people considered, either by others or themselves, to be the best in a particular society or category, especially because of their power, talent, or wealth. An elitist, what many of you call other people, is a person who believes that a system or society should be ruled or dominated by an elite. Elitism is in a lot of things that we practice as humans. The first and probably easiest to understand example would be religion. Religious groups are run by, higher ups, by a group of people who have studied the religious text, who have gone through spiritual awakenings or experiences or journeys, and have the best expression of what that means and what others should take from that and take from their beliefs and how they should grow and best prepare themselves for the afterlife, or how best to live this life morally. I don't think that that's a bad thing. If we did better at seeking out knowledge on our own and knowing what was true and what was not, elitism, the need for it, would die. But because of the place we're in, because of how information doesn't get spread, equally, how it's corrupted easily, elitism can be very bad, because then they can use it to corrupt the information. But as the kind of person who I am, who expects the very best and tries to use examples of the best situations, elitism could be a good thing, very good thing. I want to address, before you may feel that I get too off topic, I do understand what you guys are meaning to say when you call someone an elitist, but someone who is very judgmental, very closed off to new people, very closed and purist, with rudeness and hatred and anger and aggression and self-righteous, arrogance, usually. I understand that. I want to list a few things that I would hope that people can remember about elitism and elitists, and they are in every culture. They don't always know better than you. The people who call themselves that, they don't always, but sometimes they do. It's something to be very aware of. They can be mean and rude, but they can also be very quiet and polite. Believing that a group of people to lead, or even believing you're part of the elite, or you should be part of the elite, doesn't necessarily make you an ass, or or doesn't necessarily make you arrogant or pretentious. It just means that you could, know a lot and really want to help guide people and keep the subculture, growing and flowing in its true awesomeness that it is. You don't want to see it corrupted or weakened by people who, flood it in with misunderstandings of what it is and then spread that misknowledge, and then, it fell apart. It lost, its gothness. So just keep that in mind. You may come across a person who says, I believe I could be part of the elite, or I am an elitist, or I believe in elitism. That doesn't necessarily make them a bad person. That doesn't necessarily make them pretentious. You should always be the kind of person who gives someone a chance to explain themselves before you make judgments. And while rude elitists are maybe making it hard for you to be on the internet and be happy and be who you are and comfortable because you've had those bad experiences and you're just judging everyone because of that, you could be making it hard for a very kind, awesome, smart person to be on the internet and be who they are. And I feel like, going from one extreme to the other doesn't make this any better. Elitism is an outlook, not an attitude. So people who are rude and jackass-ish, that's just their attitude. That doesn't mean that an outlook is necessarily wrong. Okay, a positive way of looking at elitism is it's necessary for creating patterns of good intelligence or professional competition and privilege. Wait, is that good? Yeah. Or, in a bad way, the alleged elitist person or groups thinks they are better than everyone else and therefore put themselves above others. Elitism does not mean bullying. Elitism does not mean you are a bully. Saying that goth is founded and its core structure and its necessity for, life is the music. That's not bullying. That's elitism, though. That could be a part of elitism. But then someone says to a person approaching the Goth Subculture who says, I love My Chemical Romance, and they're my favorite band, and they're so goth. Sometimes, they don't understand. Like, they find this great culture, love it, and the imagery and what other people who don't know tell them is wrong. But, is that NCR is goth. And so instead of saying, hey, that's actually not a goth band, they have nothing to do with goth, let me show you why, a person says, oh my gosh, you're so stupid, you don't belong in goth, you'll never find friends here, you're such a poser, blah blah blah. That's an attitude, not an outlook. If someone thinks that goth is a certain thing, if they believe that, as I said, music is the heart of goth, and someone comes in and says, I think fashion is the heart of goth, disagreeing and them having to, associate themselves with the title of elitism or whatever, that doesn't mean that they're just going to be judgmental. That doesn't mean that they're going to instantly be like, that person sucks and I hate them and they're not goth and how dare they. There are people capable out there, capable of communication, capable of speaking and understanding. So give them a chance. And poser, it's a stupid word in my opinion. You're fake, blah blah blah. If they're fake, maybe they really don't know what they're saying that makes them a fake, or they're in a hard place and they're searching for something, like they want to get something out of it. They don't. If someone thinks that goth is a certain thing, if they believe that, as I said, music is the heart of goth, and someone comes in and says, I think fashion is the heart of goth, disagreeing and them having to, you know, associate themselves with the title of elitism or whatever, that doesn't mean that they're just going to be judgmental. That doesn't mean that they're going to instantly be like, that person sucks and I hate them and they're not goth and how dare they. You know, like, there are people capable out there, capable of communication, capable of speaking and understanding. So give them a chance. And poser, like, it's a stupid word in my opinion. You're fake, blah blah blah. If they're fake, maybe they really don't know what they're saying that makes them a fake, or they're, you know, in a hard place and they're searching for something, like they want to get something out of it. They could be, you know, like searching for understanding, for acceptance, and yeah, it's frustrating that maybe they're, you know, murking up a little bit of your safety, your comfort, your subculture, your whatever. But, you know, throwing names at someone isn't going to fix that. My experience with elitists. I have not been on the internet long. I did expect it. I do still expect, you know, negative reactions, or, you know, to be approached and told that's not the ground of goth, that's not the heart of goth, that's not the arm of goth, that's not the nail color of goth. It's jade, by the way. But real life as well, I don't know that many goths, and all the goths that I've met have been very sweet. What I've witnessed is mostly on the internet and at clubs, but mostly on the internet, and surrounding a lot, why I've brought it up, a lot of the question of what makes goth goth. There are people out there who are definitely very, very vocal about their unwavering opinions on questions such as what makes goth goth. They're allowed to think that, and you know, lots of people have very good reason to think that. You should really hear them out a little, if you haven't already. But someone who disagrees, you know, like, it can cause crazy drama, and it's sad, it's discouraging and frustrating, and you know, it sucks. But it's not necessarily that people are, I'm right and you're wrong. It's just, you know, people have found safety and comfort and strength in this subculture. But for someone to put so much effort into researching and knowing and enjoying and, you know, forming goth into their lives, for someone to come in and say that, have a different opinion, like, no, it's not the music, it's the fashion. It's it's kind of like a hammer to a baby chick. Like, are you kidding? Are you kidding me? And that's just the reaction of people. Not that I'm doing that. I just I express well with my face. So, you know, like, just understand what goth means to some people, and that, you know, someone who just is feeling very strongly about their opinion on goth, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're rude or bad people or elitists, rude elitists or anything. It just means that they care about their safe place. They care about their time spent and their effort and their knowledge that they've really tried hard to keep factual and educated. Things for non-elitists to remember. Yes, there are personal opinions and experiences in the subculture, but that doesn't mean there aren't facts, history, and unchangeable characteristics about our subculture. You cannot say that Susie and the Banshees is not goth. You can't. you just can't. You just can't. So, accept that there are certain things that when someone says, no, this is goth, listen to me, take a breath, listen to them, and then be reflective. Not everyone in the subculture has to like or approve of you. You're allowed to be here. Just because one person says you're not allowed to be here doesn't mean that you're in any danger, in any threat of the goth cabana taking your goth card away. Elitism could stem from someone's struggles and effort that they got through to gain acceptance or find, a comfortable place in goth, whether in just their life or in the subculture or in their family life or whatever, Sometimes people have really struggled and they want to defend that. They want it to be, what they really fought for with those specific people or those specific places. And so for someone to say it's different, it's hard for them. It can be hard. Things for elitists to remember. Everyone starts somewhere, and it is up to those who are knowledgeable in the subculture to help them. Yes, there are facts, history, and unchangeable characteristics of goth, but that doesn't mean people can't have their own opinions and experiences within the subculture. Saying you know a lot on the internet rudely makes you seem pretentious. That won't help people respect you, or respect the subculture, or respect the possible facts that you're trying to get through to them. Not elitists. Elitists are not the only people out there representing the subculture. Elitists, people with misinformation, are not the only people out there representing the subculture. Some people would respect the subculture more because of elitists' thoroughness and high standards and approach to the subculture and explanations of, what it means and how it started. On the other hand, some people would respect the subculture less because of the way elitists come off to outsiders or people new to the subculture. So in the end, I don't have negative feelings towards elitism. I have negative feelings towards rudeness and pretentiousness. And I think that, even people who are fighting for rude elitists to stop, you can be very rude yourself, and being rude to rudeness doesn't solve anything. Thanks for watching and bearing with me. If you have any questions, disagreements, agreements, please kindly post them down there.